Hi, I'm Lisa Wisner, the host of PowerUp Hero. PowerUp Hero is a podcast all about living a powered up life. Because let's face it, living your best life and juggling a busy workload, that can be close to impossible. I found hundreds and hundreds of PowerUp life hacks and systems that will help you automate your life and be time smart. So instead of spending your time, you're using it to actualize your potential. And I'm so excited for you to join me on my podcast, PowerUp Hero, so you can power up your life to live to your fullest potential.
Hello, everybody joining from all over the world. Welcome to the Power Up Hero Show. I'm Lisa Wisner, and I couldn't be more excited to be your host today. I'm super excited. We have a very exciting guest. We have Belkis Clarke, who's our empowerment expert and Catalytic Life Coach. Woo! Can I get a hello? That just makes me all excited. I love the word catalyst, and I love anybody who's talking about empowerment, because that's what this show is all about. We all know that living this life, sometimes it can feel like you have to pull superpowers from who knows where. But one of the most positive things that we can do is find examples of people who are living that heroic life, who have the courage to say, yes, I can do that, regardless of all the adversity that I am facing. Our world needs more heroes today more than ever before. And so being a Power Up hero is about being a strong, celebrated leader in our community. And this show is all about the stories behind our nominated heroes. We're going to talk about the mission that Belkis is on. We're also going to talk about the life that Belkis has built and how Belkis is seen in our community as a proud hero. We are so proud to have Belkis as part of our community. And being a Power Up hero is about you living your best life, your authentic life on your terms. Maybe disappointing other people, but living on your own terms and really and truly being your best advocate and being the agent of change for your life. Not only because you deserve it, yes, you, but also because of your family, your friends, and your community. And through this show, we really hope to help you become the best version of yourself, the best version that you could ever be. So today I mentioned that we are shedding a spotlight on an amazing individual. We are going to be elevating Belkis Clarke. Now, this amazing individual is one of my friends. In fact, I met Belkis as a supporter of TED Talks. Belkis applied to speak at one of our TED events, and I remember thinking to myself, who is this person that just arrived in my life? And I've been following Belkis, and I absolutely love everything she does. And so I'm going to read Belkis's bio, but as I'm reading Belkis's bio, please get in the chat and please send your comments and send your affirmations to thank Belkis for being here with us. Belkis is a captivating, insightful communication teacher, empowerment expert, and yes, a catalytic life coach. Belkis is also an international speaker, an author. I can go on and on about all the unique gifts that this amazing woman has in her life. She's all about delivering messages that transform, and she sees her life as an echo. She sees this as an opportunity for her to be able to elevate you by seeing how you can be inspired by her power-packed delivery of all the amazingness that she has to offer. And I'm sure with that, you're like, who is this person? Bring him here quickly. Yes, I'm doing that. So without any further ado, welcome our Power Up hero of empowerment. We welcome Belkis Clarke. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I am totally ecstatic. And that introduction, girl, I'm all excited about me.
Oh my gosh, well, let me tell you, I think if I was to read your whole bio, we would be here, like, the whole episode would be like,
no bother with
that. So that is just a little bit of a taste. And so can I just tell you right now, you're amazing. You are just such a shining light in our community. You are so empowering. The words you speak, the way you speak them, the energy that you portray. You are a hero in our community, and I couldn't be more excited to celebrate you today. So congratulations on being our Power Up hero of empowerment.
Thank you so much, Annie. Well, I'm honored. I'm always honored when persons feel like they've been impacted by what I do. It makes me know that, yes, the goal is being achieved, because it's always about others. It's always about helping another person to step forward in their power, in who they are and in their that authentic space that we tend to be scared of, and to know that they can rock it like a boss.
Oh, I love it. And you do it. You do it like a boss, right?
Try it. I sure try.
Yes, well, try you are not trying, you are doing. So we are
Yeah, man. I
so
am.
powered up to have you here with us. So let's jump straight in. I want to know all about you. Tell us about where you grew up. Tell us about Belkis as a child. Tell us about your family and your upbringing.
Oh my goodness, Belkis as a child. I grew up on an island in the Caribbean called St. Kitts. That's where I was born, St. Kitts and Nevis. And my parents later moved to St. Martin. You know, St. Martin is one of the smallest islands in the world, if not the smallest, that's ruled by two nations. Part of it is Dutch, ruled by Holland, and the other part is French, ruled by France. But you know what I loved about growing up in the Caribbean was there was this sense of community and this simplicity. Let's not discount the beauty of the islands. Let's
Yes.
not discount that. But one of the things I remember growing up is that I could still hear this knock at my door, rat a tat, rap, 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 early on a Saturday morning. And it's like, the sun is up. You're not getting up. And the sound of my grandmother drifting up. But I've been up for hours, and there I was under the sheets with a book, hoping that no one would realize so they couldn't call me to do chores. But that didn't fool my grandmother a bit, So I grew up with my grandmother, with my mom, lots of cousins, like this extended family and stuff in the Caribbean. And it wasn't all paradise. That's the truth. It really wasn't. But a great part of it wasn't. These are the things that I carry with me. But the parts that were not paradise are the things that shaped me into who I am today, along with the good stuff. So it wasn't just all roses, but it's also the trials that I've been through. It's also the hard times. We grew up in poverty. Oh my goodness. I remember there were days, Liza, when my parents did not know where the next meal was coming from. $5 to last you a couple of weeks because my mom isn't getting paid to the end of the month. My grandmother, there were times we didn't have stuff to put in our bread. You do a sandwich, but there's nothing to put in it. So you might be dipping it into some watered down version of a milk tea, and for us, though, once we had something in our tummy, we go out, we play, we go to school, and we lived. But I dreamt of something better. I dreamt of something different. And I didn't know how it would happen. I didn't know if it could happen. But I longed desperately for something more. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was it for me growing up. I mean, I went through childhood sexual abuse.
Oh.
And that was some of the not so paradise that I'm talking about. And I had sometimes people who were in positions of power who looked, down and this probably saw a nice looking young little girl that they could take advantage of, and people in their evil ways. And I call it like I see it. It's evil when you can take a child and just rip apart their innocence in their childhood, and all under the guise as if I am taking care of kids, and I love kids, but really the only thing they love was themselves and their satisfaction. And there was this driving selfishness and something that they had. It was all about them, that they didn't even look to think about what they were doing. And so I had to endure that. And as a teenager, I was suicidal. And it really got that bad because I wanted back my childhood. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to know when my friends laughed and they were happy, what joy felt like. I literally remember thinking, what is happiness? What do you feel when there's happiness? Because I felt so disconnected. I felt as if who I was supposed to be, or the person I am, was somehow disconnected from my emotions. So I was just going through life numb. I was very good at doing what I was told, because to feel meant I had to feel the betrayal and the hurt of abuse, and the teachers who would try to have intercourse, with a child, or, force themselves on a child, or put you in compromising position. And you always have to be dodging and avoiding. As a child, I learned to dodge really well. I learned to avoid superbly well. And all of that lingered long into my childhood, into my adulthood, because I found that everywhere I went, I felt like it was all with that people would always take advantage. People would always leave, or you somehow have to put yourself out there for sexual intimacy in order to get people to try to stay in your space. And that didn't work. So I made one poor decision after another because I kept searching and looking and longing for something more, something other than that sense of betrayal and hurt and misery that I felt. Can you imagine that on my 16th birthday was the day I was released from the hospital for a suicidal attempt?
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, that was my 16th birthday. And that continued into about my early 20s until there came a point when I will never forget this, that I was married and he turned out to be abusive. So then there was domestic violence. So it's just that's what I'm talking about. Hurt from you made one bad decision after another because I wasn't confident. I didn't know who I was outside of the experiences I had. I thought there was no value to me. My life wasn't worth anything except to be used. That's what I thought. And therefore, from that premise, I made decisions. That's not a good premise to make any decision. It's not a good premise from which to live. So I ended up with a guy, and he was an abuser. We were married, and that was another horror story to talk about. And I remember one day I was sitting outside. It was night. It was a beautiful Caribbean night because we lived near the ocean, and I could hear the sound of the waves gently crashing against the shore. And I sat outside on a rock, and I looked up at the sky, and there was like this blanket of stars. And it seemed as if the darkness threatened to just consume me, to just cover me and just keep me wrapped there. And it was a dark place to be. And I had a razor blade in my hand, and I thought about slitting my wrist.
Oh my gosh, Belkis.
Not to trigger anyone, really, but let's move past that. I'm taking you down there a little bit, but I'm bringing you right back up. I know this is going like 20 stories down, but we're getting back up. I'm telling you, I'm coming to that, and I sat there and I thought about, it's just best if I end this. He was horrible. I'd been dragged across the floor by my hair, choked against walls, flung down, made to sleep outside in the car. It was, not good. And I wanted it done. I just had to figure, if this is what life will always bring me, it's best that I ended it now. But this is the big but. I sat there and it's as if I heard somewhere in my subconsciousness, because I grew up in the church. If the God that told you about died for everybody, why would you die for anybody? Because of anybody. Could there be more than this? And I felt like, no, because this is all that I've seen. There can't be more. And then it said, look up. And when I look up, there's darkness, but then there were the stars, light. In the darkness, there was light. And I heard that voice says, find your light. And then came unleash your light, which is what my tagline for my business, because in the darkest moment, there is these pinpricks of light. If we would just shift our focus, know how to shift the focus and what those light mean, and then how can we make the lights the bigger, better, more beautiful thing in our life. That was basically my growing up. Fast forward.
Gosh. First of all, I am so sorry for everything that little Belkis endured, and I think, we're now trying to find the light in your darkness that you went through, but ultimately that is not a story that we wish on anyone, right? We don't want anyone to ever want to have that story, like, oh, I lived through this.
And that is why I do what I do. That's why, because if I can, I've listened to many people, Liza, and people share information. Lots of people share information. I didn't want to share information. I wanted to share knowledge, because the difference between information and knowledge is that I could give you a recipe and you have all the ingredients or whatever, and these are the ingredients. That's information. This is this is the temperature you should bake it at. But you see, when I have tried the baking of the cake, failed, succeeded, and failed some more and succeeded, that's knowledge. This is, I've been there, done it, and I can show you the shortcuts that would still give you an amazing thing at the end. So you avoid the flour all over yourself, your messy kitchen, your floppy cake, your runny cake, your burnt cake. Basically, that's what I do. But in terms of life, help you to avoid, and even if you have had the pitfalls, how to avoid letting it continuously ricochet or ripple across your life, so that you don't even understand what you have in you. That it just keeps stifling it. It is to stop. It is to stop. We need at some point for it to stop.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So in case you didn't listen to the introduction, Belkis Clarke is our empowerment expert, and hopefully you can see why. And she's a catalytic life coach. And so just kind of tapping on to what you just talked about, we're calling you the PowerUp hero of empowerment. And my goodness, you have empowered me right now, right? I mean, even just the image of seeing that blanket of darkness with the stars back in my mind now, as those stars are the guiding light for you to find your star, unleash the light. It's just, oh my gosh, awesome. What does empowerment mean to you? What does it mean to empower people?
I am so happy that you're asking that. And I know that might sound a little cliche, but I really am, because I almost kind of like I'm bouncing at that question. When I think about empowerment, I am not just thinking about, oh, I feel strong. I want you to know where that strength is. It's like digging a well. This is what empowerment means. Empowerment means in the hard, rocky dirt of life, or of your life and your experiences, where it seems as if the harshness of life is like a hot sun blazing down on you, and you out there with a little pick trying to go at this soil. You're trying to dig a well. When you are empowered, you understand that this is the layout of your land, and unfortunately it's the land you've been given. You weren't able to choose some of these experiences you've had. They have happened. So all the rocks, the boulders, the harshness, the barrenness of the land is there. And you get to the place where you said, though I see barrenness, though I see rocks, though it's been hard, though the sun is beating down on me, and I feel pressured by this heat, and I'm about to pass out and faint from the experiences I've had, I'm going to dig, because on my land, I believe there's a water, there's a life source that is flowing beneath it. This is empowerment. It's not just thinking about water beneath the harshness. It is about knowing that in you there is water, there is a life, and that you're going to dig beneath the barrenness, dig beneath the harshness, dig beneath the boulders and the experiences you have until you hit that source. Empowerment is knowing that there is a source of life in you that is unique to you, that is already embedded in you, that is there to preserve you. It's been preserving you. It's a flow underneath all the harshness. You want to know why you're still here? Because there's a life underneath there, consistently feeding you, keeping you, pushing you on, urging you on. And it's saying, dig, sister, dig, keep digging. I am here. So when you're empowered, you don't just think, maybe, you don't just feel good at the idea that it could be, and you go to work for it. You go to dig, you will tear apart that earth with your hand until you get to your life force. And when you found your life force, this is where you know who you are. This is where your identity takes shape. And when your identity starts to take shape, it means self-confidence and self-value starts to rise up and starts to be established and become a part of your foundation. And then when you know that, yes, I found my life force, this is who I am, then you start to say, I will stand in it and I will not be shaken because my life force has preserved me for this time despite the environment that I have been conditioned and shaped in. That is to be empowered. When you know that and when you're able to stand in that, then you become unstoppable. Nothing would be impossible then. That is empowerment.
Wow.
I got excited.
You are powerful beyond measure. I don't even know where to go because I am so powered up right now on my own show. Like, I don't even know, like, Belkis, like, right now, I'm about to go dig a well. Like, literally, I'm imagining. Oh
Yes,
my
ma'am.
God. You know, the pictures you're painting, you are a storyteller. You know, I'm supposed to be interviewing you, and I'm over here about to jump into a coaching session for myself. But the point here is, you know, the way that you are able to connect the dots is amazing. You know, I think when we're thinking about people who are able to impact our lives, the other day I was talking to somebody about Jay Shetty. So he's like this viral storyteller. He, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen him on social media, but he wrote this book called Think Like a Monk. And in that book, he talks about, you know, you have to find your passion so that you find peace and prosperity in what you do. But he talks about how your pain is what probably sometimes helps you find your passion faster.
Okay.
But this is the part that I really like about his message. What he says is that everyone's purpose is the same. And the purpose is to find your passion and provide it in service to the world. And when you serve it to the world, if the world is happy, then you have fulfilled your purpose, right? So he said everyone has the same purpose. You just have to find what the passion is so you can fill the world with your passion, right?
That's right.
And I feel like that's what you do. You have become this person who, I mean, we're just like, what, 20 minutes into this interview? And I'm already like, okay, can we just rewind and play that again? I want to listen to that every morning when I wake up. I want to plug in Belkis and be like, oh my God, this is how I wake up to Power Up. So thank you for that. Just that, even just, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to snippet this in all these podcasts, you know, all these podcast platforms. There's ways to snippet episodes. Somebody's going to snip that definition of empowerment and put your picture next to it in the dictionary, because that is exactly it.
You do honor me, though. I do feel true, but that's, and the thing is, I speak from my experience.
Yes.
I speak from what I'm convicted of. There's one thing to be convinced, but when you are convicted, it is like little room for really shifting. And so it's taken me some years to get to the conviction that is a major aspect when it comes to empowerment. So I got excited when I was like, oh, and something like that. I didn't pre-think that. This is the thing about when I am either coaching or speaking. I prepare speeches and get up there and never say what's on the paper.
Yes.
With coaching, it is so individualized. Speaking to you just now, that's the first time that I've used that analogy. I just tap into what's real. And my talent is, I love to tell stories, but I don't like to make them up. I like to really connect them to something grounded. And so as we spoke and you asked me that's what flowed out of my sincerest space and out of all that I know and am.
Yeah. So where did that come from? Like, this whole thing that you have of connecting words together. You are a wordsmith and an orator. So can we unpack that? Did you go to college and like get a degree in speaking? Tell us about this.
Well, as a child, oh my goodness, from really young, I'm talking 8 years and younger, I would write poetry. And when I used to, like I said, I grew up in church, and when they realized that I could, for every event, they were asking me to do poetry or spoken word. And I was this shy girl, but whenever I got on the stage for a poem, it's like I just got into whatever the topic was, and it will just flow. And I said it's a God-given gift, and I didn't think it was. When I wanted to, like, what would I do with my life? I was like, God, what do I do with my life? Where am I going? And I was like, the only thing I know how is to write really good stories in school and these poems, but that's not really a career because everybody else around me were either teachers, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, technicians, engineers, stuff like that. And I'm like, where are you going with words? Nobody I knew used words for a living, neither to write. I didn't know any authors, nor a speaker. And so that it literally has been in me from young. I did not think it was a gift, but I could not escape it. When I wrote plays, I mean, it was like standing room only at church, and poems were always this, it elicit this certain response, and yet I didn't want it because it put me in the spotlight, and I didn't want that. I wanted something else, but there was nothing else for me. There literally, whenever I get the opportunity, and like now, to stand in front of people, what I do is I let who I think I should be go away. And you see, the God I believe in, who has preserved me intentionally and helped me intentionally, there is a flowing from him into me for what is needed in a moment. So it's never prescripted. It's never, I might sometimes use a story more than once, but even then it changes in the moment. So it's very hard for me to define and say, oh, it comes from here or it comes from there. From a child, I have always been what they call a wordsmith. I went from really silent because of abuse to finding my voice and realizing that expression meant everything to me. I was so suffocated as a child because of my experiences and stuff like that, that when I did finally start to speak up and realize the power of speaking up, you couldn't shut me up. And I did English in school, but English really isn't about words. It's more about story structure and the language and linguistics and stuff like that. I thought, I was like, so it was like a breeze for me.
Yeah, it definitely shows. I mean, it doesn't seem like, even now during this interview, I think anybody would love to interview you, any host, right? Because we ask you one question and you're just like throwing all these awesome phrases and quotes, and you're just perfect, right? So it's just your natural sense of being. You just have a way of putting things together and making sense of it. So let me ask you this. So this is a show about heroes, and we know, so now I'm going to stand like the Power Up Hero of Empowerment. I don't know how the Power Up Hero of Empowerment stands, but either they have a shovel and they're digging, right? Or they're standing strong, right? On their, whatever they're built. So let's imagine that you are the Power Up Hero of Empowerment. I'm going to imagine you are the Power Up Hero of Empowerment. Mm-hmm. What would my superpowers be, right? So what would you think your superpowers are? You know, we know Superman can fly, you know, we have all these people who have different superpowers. What is the superpower of the Power Up Hero of Empowerment?
I would think it's the activate. That's thus the word catalyst. I get into the midst of your chaos and I start to activate things. And you might think that, oh, but it's chaos. It's already activated. No, we start to activate what is necessary for the leveling out of your chaotic situation. So I get into there. I get into your space. That's why my type of coaching might not be for everybody, because I am getting in there with you. We get up close and personal, almost to the point that our energies, we are fused a little bit, and I want to feel your vibration. So all the chaos that's happening around you, I get into there and we activate what's already in you to help create your calm, your space of control, your space of clarity, so that you can then get up, because you've been powered up, and move forward. So that is my superpower. I activate the good in you. I activate the awesome, what's natural and innate that you have overlooked, that you did not think was valuable, and bring it to the forefront so that it can then serve you and propel you forward. That is what I do.
I cannot write fast enough. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is another definition of activation, right? So you're the catalyst. So you take all the chaos and step into it, right? So we're not shying away from our pain, right? The point here is when we have the negative situations, we should boldly see them and maybe see them as a lesson, right? So there's something there.
Right.
Why, let's figure something out there, right? And
That's
then
right.
is you use all that to create some calm, some control, and some clarity. Because sometimes I think in my life, I think like it's never perfect 100%. Negativity, that's life sometimes. You just think like some things are beyond your control. So how do you survive, right? You can't survive. Everything is never going to be 100% perfect. So
never.
I love that. So
that's okay.
Oh, I love that.
In the midst of that imperfection, I like to say you truly can carve out what's perfect for you. And perfect doesn't mean you're always going to know what's happening. It doesn't mean you're always going to be in control. It means that though things may be outside of my control, I know what I need to do because I know who I am. And if somehow I am not being who I should be, I know what is required to get me to that place. These are the tools and the tips that we need to have so that no matter, this is how people endure. This is how people are resilient. This is how people maintain their sense of happy. You might feel sad for a moment, but you know how to restore the balance because you have been given the tools and the strategies that gets you to that place that says, okay, I am not in my best space right now. I'm not my best self right now, but give me a minute to cry. And then I know what I need to do. Because the thing is, we don't like to face the ugly and the messy of life. But the truth is, Liza, if we don't, what we are doing is like procrastination. You're just handing it off to a future version of yourself. And the thing with that is, when you hand it off to this future version of yourself, is that future version might be in a great place and then the mess comes up. And it just robs you of what should have been an ideal situation for you.
Wow. So don't wait. Whatever's going on right now, don't sweep it under the rug. Like, you know what? I'll take care of this later. I got time. Yeah.
I have worked through stuff, tears flowing, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want this to go into my tomorrow. I'm blubbering and all over the place. Yes. But I want a better tomorrow. And it's not me trying to hurry it. It's a me saying, this is what it takes for me to get there. So let's do it. And I don't like how it feels. It's because it's making me feel the hurt and the pain all over again. But there's something I have learned that I would like to leave with you is that nothing lasts forever. Pain can seem forever because in the moment, every part of us is alive to the hurt and the discomfort, and our brains are struggling to get us back to that place of comfort, and of normalcy. But it will not last forever. Every day has a beginning and an end, 24 hours. And so every situation, every feeling has a beginning and an end. You just need to know how to healthily work towards your end so you can begin.
Yes. I was going to say amen. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. So I do have a really awesome video to share with everyone. We're talking to Belkis Clarke, who is our PowerUp Hero of Empowerment. We just unpacked that the PowerUp Hero of Empowerment's superpower is activation. And so I don't know why I said it like that, like we're on a show, some Marvel show, I don't know, but this is what I saw. Okay, so I saw this chaos happening, right? So almost like a hurricane that's filled with gnats and who knows what's in there, right? Like all chaos. And so I see you as this superhero character flying in, like, and this chaos, and then you enter the scene and you just land and everything just gets calm, I see it. So Marvel is watching. You need to just make
I need to turn that into a little cartoon animation.
Right. I see it already. I don't know if you saw that, but that's what I saw. So what we're going to do now is talk a little bit about some of the things you've been able to do. You know, we know you're an author. We know that you're a motivational speaker. Clearly, everybody would want you to be part of their events to just bring everybody alive. But one of the things that I was proud to be a part of for you was you delivering your very first TED Talk. Now, I'm saying your very first one because knowing who we're talking to right now, I know you have more than one TED Talk inside of you. So this TED Talk was something that I remember watching you deliver this talk, and I wished I was there in person. For some reason, I had to go, I had to leave to be with my family whenever you were filming that talk. But I remember thinking to myself, if there was a talk that I needed to be there for, I needed to be there for this one. So for those of y'all who are watching, enjoy, and we'll be right back.
It's a girl. Baby girl, if I had $1 for every time I sat sobbing, wondering, when will it be my turn? Why am I so alone? Will someone rescue me? Bill Gates will have nothing on me. But these won't be your questions, because I will teach you to rescue yourself. My name is Belkis Clarke Mitchum, and I empower women to rescue themselves by overcoming past hurts and the trauma and turning their passions into profits so they can have more time doing the things they love with the people that they love. Let me tell you a story about a young girl. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess, and she had skin the color of sun-kissed coffee. She lived in a small castle perched on a cliff overlooking the tranquil, shimmering Caribbean Sea. At night, she crept out onto the porch, lowered her slender frame into the hammock, and gazed out into the night. The gentle lapping of the sea at the shores soothed her troubled thoughts for a minute. Tears would wash high cheekbones as she whispered, "Somebody, please help me." As she sobbed, she tried to block out the images of hands that would touch her and rob her of her childhood. But that night, and in the years to come, no rescue came, and the darkness persisted.
So that was just a little bit of a taste of a TED Talk that was delivered by our guest today. We are so excited to be celebrating the one and only Belkis Clarke, our empowerment expert and Catalytic Life Coach. Can you say that 3 times fast? She was giving a TED Talk about SOS, women rescuing themselves. Belkis Clarke, I need to add Mitchum in there, right? So
I have to give credit to my husband, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say some love in your life. So tell us a little bit about your TED Talk. How did it feel to do your TED Talk and just deliver it while you were expecting? So tell us about TED Talk.
Oh my gosh, people have no idea how close to delivery I was. Like literally, maybe just like a week, couple of weeks. But it was unbelievable, actually. When you have a goal, something that you wanted. I watched TED Talks since I was like, I don't know, for years, and I always go like, I could do this, but I think I remember saying this. I never filled out a form. All I thought about is doing it. And a lot of us has dreams. We have dreams like that. We dream about doing certain things, but we never make the first step. I never filled out a form, and I decided, you know what, just fill out the form, because I was afraid you'd be rejected. It wouldn't be good enough. You're going to put yourself out there. More people are going to scrutinize you. Some people are not nice. And then I went like, girl, please, you're over this. And I filled that form out, and then it was accepted, and it felt surreal. And I was grateful and humbled to be given such an opportunity to speak to so many people. And for me, I was like, goals. It reminded me that you truly can achieve anything. And sometimes all you got to do is take that first step, man, just fill out the form, you know? And that was a powerful reminder for me because I had other goals I wanted to achieve. I wanted to really step things up. And I was a little bit apprehensive and some of the old thoughts started coming back. But that TED Talk reminded me of who I was and what my mission was and what I was about. And being pregnant and doing it, girl, I was like, I am so out of breath trying to say what I want to say without passing out because here you are, near your due date. But I also realize that sometimes we say family and pregnancies and whatever other experiences we're having, that these things tend to be hindrances. But the truth is, embrace them all. You bring them along with you on the journey. You do, and you balance it. And that's what was important for me, balance. I had to take my time, make sure I balance right between writing and taking care of myself and then delivery and pacing myself. And that's how I achieve most things. Just what I did on that stage, whether I am pregnant, whether I am sad, whether I am happy, no matter what, I show up for the life I want to have. Mm. And that's what I did with that TED Talk. I was pregnant, expecting my beautiful baby girl. And I figured, though, there would be a time when my baby girl's going to be grown up and there are examples I need to set for her. And what is it I wanted them to be? And one of the things that I want is to always show up for the things that I want in my life. I could have put it off, but the opportunity was right there before me. What was my excuse? Pregnancy? No, I brought it. I brought her along with me. And so it was a birthing of a dream just before I gave birth to my baby girl.
Oh, and it tied in so perfectly with your talk. In fact, when you were giving your talk, there's an amazing reveal that happens. I mean, I just feel like there's just something about you, Belkis. So just like know that you are just everything to everyone that you meet. So we're going to jump swiftly into a really fun portion of our show that we like to call Fast 5 Finger Favorites. And so what we do during this portion is we ask you 5 questions and you answer them super fast, okay? So for those of y'all who are watching, if you have favorites that you want to share with us, put them in the chat. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first question for you, Belkis, our Power Up hero of empowerment. We uncovered your superpower is activation. What is the Power Up hero of empowerment like to read? What is your favorite book or something to read?
Actually, I am always reading in the Bible because there's no more empowerment that I know have endured the ages. That book have endured the ages. So I'm always reading that. But outside of that, I am actually rereading a book that got me started in my sense of self. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life. So I'm reading that. And I'm also reading a book called Click, which talks about genuinely making connections.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. So the next question is on Fast 5 Finger Favorites. What is your favorite movie or something that you like to watch?
I love Christmas shows, but I could watch them all year long. They all feel good. But I truly love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Because inside of all of us, there's always these battles that are going on. And sometimes they're not good. There's a lot of evil, it seems, to overrun our lives sometimes. But it reminds me that there is hope and that we should not give up. We should persist. We should persevere. Even when you cannot see the end result, even though you don't know if the ring is going to end up in the fire, and evil be gone, you are still persistent and moving towards your goals and the things that you want, and you will fight to the end for what's good in you. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh my gosh, that is a testimonial if I've ever heard one. So they better put that on. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know if people read testimonials anymore, but that is so great. Oh my gosh, now you're making me want to go back and watch The Lord of the Rings.
Girl, I watch that like once a year at least.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm going back to watch, and they're long, so better strap on my
Those are my retreat moments, my honey hold the kids moments, my
Yeah,
grab a glass of wine. I'm gonna just look at this for 4 hours or so.
yeah. I know what you mean. Okay, well, next time we're gonna have a watch party, Van. Invite me to that. All right. So our next question on the Fast Five Finger Favorites is, what's your favorite song, or what do you like to listen to?
I love, oh my goodness, my listens to are kind of very dependent on my mood. I love jazz. I love gospel music. I love R&B, especially the old ballads, and I love to listen to good classical music. Those are my calming moments.
Yes.
One of my well, one of my favorite songs is that I love to dance to is "I'm so excited," because life
Yes.
is something to be excited about. And in
Yes.
terms of gospel, there's one that I love these days called God Turn It Around. In terms of all the things you're going through, turn it around, because that too keeps reminding me that situations don't last, hard times don't last. There is hope. There is a God who can help you turn this
Mm-hmm.
around.
Mm-hmm. See the other side. Just turn
Yes,
around.
turn it around. I
I love
need
it.
I need to know there's something else than the madness.
Yes. Love it. I love it. Okay. The next question is, what is your favorite quote or a phrase that you like to say?
Don't mean to sound like I'm all about myself, but when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I was inspired with this quote that says, "Nothing that God can control will set me back. So I'll always be moving forward." And that's an original that I came up with. Nothing God can control will set me back. Thus, I would always be moving forward. And if
Woo!
people are looking for a more familiar one, I also love that she remembered who she is and then the game changed.
And that's
That's
another
another one.
original?
No, that one is, I don't remember the name of the lady who wrote that second one, but I
Yeah.
also love that one. So I'm sorry, you said one and I'm just not obeying the rules. I'm like,
No, bring it on. You are a champion, and champions do more. So bring it on. I'm taking all my notes here. If y'all are watching and you're or listening and you're not taking notes, you're not trying to be a hero. I'm over here trying to hack heroes. Okay, so let's figure this out. You want to have Belkis-ness in your life? Take some notes. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. So our last question, which is actually one of my favorite questions I like to ask, is, how do you power up in the morning? And essentially, we like to ask you, if Belkis Clarke, as a power up hero of empowerment, woke up in the morning, threw those covers off, how would you wake up to power up?
the first thing on opening my eyes, and I've actually had these kind of ideal wake up moments that is life to me. The first thing is I open my eyes and I give thanks for a brand new day because I feel so enthused. I am happy that there's another opportunity and another chance. So I give thanks. And then I start to think about what positive thing can I say today? I start to tell myself things like, and this is while I am getting up from my bed and heading outside to look at the water, because water, oh my goodness, is life to my soul. So I get up, and as I'm walking just to gaze at the water, I am telling myself, I am beautiful. I am an overcomer. I am the head and not the tail. I am more than a conqueror. I will achieve my goals. I am successful. And I'm saying this and I'm walking. And then as I stand in front of my doorway and the water is outside, if it is a nice enough morning, like not cold or anything, I just step outside and I just let myself be lost for a moment. I listen. I silence everything within me. Let it all go quiet. And then I hear the lapping of the water and I hear the sounds of birds and the rustle of the leaves as the wind dances gently through it. And then I start to think about what's good in my life and what it is that I'm appreciative for. And I start to think about it, and inside of me, I feel the well of happiness because I'm making sure I put myself intentionally in a positive space, in a space of happiness, so that no matter what happens throughout the day, I could go back and pull on that. So when I get up, I stand there in the silence with everything quiet, no negatives, no worries. And I think about what's good in my life, what I'm grateful for, what talents and skills I have that I love, who I have in my life that means something to me, how far I've come that I am so happy for, great experiences that I've had, good things. And I'm telling myself, you know what? You can achieve anything. All things are possible. You are happy in your marriage. Your kids are doing well. They are your joy. That there's a God who loves you. That you've got a strong support system. I'm just calling all this thing into my day. And then I open my eyes and I look again at the water. And then I will nicely go in and have me my first cup of tea. And then I go to my bathroom, set it down, look at myself in the mirror and says, you've got this. You can do this. Go pioneer and make new paths. That's what I do.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I can see it. I can see it already. Oh my goodness. First of all, the picture you painted of coming out of bed with all these affirmations. I don't know. I'm making a movie of you now already. Clearly in my head, I am a screenwriter and we have a movie today, okay? And
Let's do it.
I can see it, graphically. I'm just seeing these words coming out of your mouth, talking. But you're not saying them, right? You're just thinking them. And then I see all the silence, just like, and then the vibrations of the waves of the water and to see the birds. Oh, I just love it. And I want to wake up like you now. So I love that. That was so wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Another thing that we like to know about our heroes is we're all about, life hacks. We believe that as heroes, that time is your most valuable resource. So there's so many different ways with our current advances, whether it's technology or whatever it is. We know that there's ways for you to maximize your time, right? So you talked about procrastination earlier. We don't want that in our lives. We want positive habits that are all about maximizing time. So do you have any hacks for us to be power up heroes?
Yeah, but the things that we need to discipline ourselves to, reward yourself. We don't like to hear the word discipline. We kind of go like, ugh. But the truth is, one of the greatest hacks in life is to harness the power of discipline. And because it doesn't seem so exciting to be disciplined, reward yourself. So there's always balance. I believe if we can, Eliza, learn to achieve the great balance, meaning when you are doing your kids' thing, you are not looking at your watch, you're not doing anything else. This is just for them. So that it energizes that aspect of you that needs feeding. When that aspect of you that is generated by your family or by loved ones or friends is fed and filled, then it means you don't have to tap into another source of yourself to try and fill that up. So you don't feel stretched, you feel filled up. And then when you're supposed to be working, you go ahead and work. You do your work. And then you said, you know what, maybe I don't like the assignment I have today. So later, I'm going to give myself my favorite dessert. I'm going to go do something that I truly love, a sport, a walk, whatever it is you really love. Give yourself a set time. Don't just let it prolong and say, whenever I feel like, then I will stop. You have got to work within the time frame. And when you are there, do it. When you're done with work, work is over, and it is okay for it to be over so that you can then focus on the next thing. And please, downtime is also part of your schedule. It's not something that's just gonna magically happen. Don't just fill all your time with just all these activities. Take time for self. Focus on that. And when you're alone, do things you really, really love to do. Because you might say, oh, but these are all, yeah, we know this, we've heard it. But the thing is, you don't even know why I am saying that you should do this. Because we've got aspects of us that we need these emotional buckets that needs to be filled. When we are satisfied and content, that's when we start to feel in control of our life. And we feel like, yes, we've got it. It's working. And then it doesn't seem so much like I have to hack my life anymore, all my time, because I am given to each thing what it needs. Don't try to fit in. If you know it's going to take you an hour to do an assignment for work, give yourself the hour. Don't try to say, I'm going to get it done in 45 so I can have 15 minutes to put some. No. What you don't get done today, you can always do tomorrow. Unless you got a deadline for work or something that's an emergency and important, let me put that there. So I'm saying when it comes to time management, when it comes to making the most of what you've got 24 hours in a day, and some of that got to go to sleep because that's important. You need to just be so immersed in what you're doing at the particular time. Find the satisfaction and the fulfillment in the thing that you have chosen to do. Give yourself enough time so that you're not pressured. It does not matter sometimes what others are saying you should do, unless your boss have given you some goals to meet. You know, friends are telling you should do this. Everybody, their expectations, you need to shut out and set your expectations. What are your expectations for you then? Be realistic about, okay, it's going to take me this time. And if you don't get it, that's okay. You be flexible. Tomorrow's the next day. You go at it again and you finish it up. And then you do the next thing and give yourself the space and the breathing room that you deserve. But fill up your emotional buckets so that you are satisfied and you are happy and content with how you're spending the time on the things you've chosen to. That is how you hack your life and set yourself up on the path for happiness. You got to be present. You got to be conscious. You got to be disciplined. And when you've been disciplined about what you don't like, reward yourself. I like ice cream.
Love it. I like ice cream too. Oh my gosh. Okay, marble slab. That's all I can say. Is you'll find me at marble slab when things are needing to be rewarded. But you know, can I go back to that? Because what you're saying is, and I think this is something that I've tried to hack a little bit, is people think, oh, I need to develop the habit of exercise, let's say. And the way I see that is, no, actually, what you need to do is figure out what's the reward, because that's why you have the bad habits. The bad habits are because of the short-term gain. Like when you ate that bag of candy, it felt good to eat it, but afterwards you're like, oh my gosh, I ate that whole thing of candy. You know, you kind of tell yourself all these stories, right? But if you find what the reward is for the thing that you want to do, then you're going to do it, because you're going to say, you get that dopamine hit in your brain, and your brain is happy because it says, when we do this, then we get that. So let's do this. So we get that.
And your brain loves to create these new pathways for what feels good.
Yes.
It loves to do that. So you are so right. Expect taking exercise as a thing. People say that, oh my God, it's so hard. It's so this, it's so that. But I know if every day I get up and just do 5 minutes, 2 weeks from now, I may have lost a pound or two. It's not drastic, but I want to get to that 2 pounds lost. You know what I mean? And so your brain will constantly remind, because you already start creating new ways for it, a new pathway, that exercise should be included. Just 5 minutes. I'll start out with a minute, just something, anything, and then you give yourself a little reward. Now, don't overdo the ice cream and things like that.
I know. I get the small cup and I just get a few fillings in my ice cream, but but I love ice cream too. Yeah.
And I like wine, but if I drank wine all the time, I won't be here talking to you now, would I?
We wouldn't be functioning, right? So it would just not be working out well. Okay. So I love that. Okay, so I love that. So being present. So focusing very deep. So yes, you have everything that approaches your docket, right? So I always see like there's all these things that you have to do in your life. Whatever it is that you're doing, just do it. Don't be trying to be everywhere for everyone. You're over here at work, then do the work 100%, and then go over here, be with your family 100%, and don't try to be this micromanaging.
It is one of the
multitasking
powerful tools. I think it's underrated. We talk about it, but I still think people don't really get it.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where you're talking about bringing calm to the chaos.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I see it already. You know, you're coming in and you like, you create some calm. I see it already. It's going to happen. We have a movie coming. Okay, so now we are close to the end, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But I want to ask you this question. I want you to imagine yourself 5 to 10 years from now. What do you see?
Well, my goodness, my goals are sure going to be bigger than I am. If it's 10 years from now, one of them will be a teenager. Pray for me. But 5 to 10 years, they're preteen into teen, and I can see myself already that I would have had their trust funds to set up, their college funds to set up. They would each have had their own home. That's on my kids' side, and they would be strong women who understand how to be a part of community, but how to hold their own and be individuals and going off, planning for their own path. And idea as a cheerleader on the side. So that's where my kids are concerned. My husband and I, hello, I see that we would be retired or, just about there at that particular time. And I see travel, and lots more travel along with where we're going, us saying, oh, we got our retirement home already. Pick it wherever we want. And that will be our retirement home. We will have that already. And I also, though, I see myself standing on stages that are like big stadiums. And I see television stations, like screens, not the stations, the screens all above, featuring people all across the globe watching in, and they're translators, as I am able to stand and empty myself of all that's within me and pour it out into so many people in so many languages, all at the same time, bringing transformation, bringing life, bringing advancement, bringing upliftment, bringing a new shaping and new dawn across the darkness and light into people's life, all in one power-packed moment. I see myself delivering that about once or twice a year in 10 years' time, living the life that I wanted to live. Not just because, it brings monetary gain. We need that to live. But because it means that at the end of my days, I would have done it all, poured it all out, emptied myself of everything I could have given for the betterment of humanity. That's where I see myself in 10 years. That's what I see myself doing.
Ooh. Wow. Now you have, that is a very clear vision. And I see it, I love your perspective. I love how, first of all, you seem like you work tirelessly. So it you give it all, right? So it's kind of like you put yourself into it. And so it fires me up. It inspires me to think more boldly about my dreams and my aspirations, because I see how connected you are to them. And so I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your vision. And I see it for you. There's a conference called GLS. Have you heard of it? The Global Leadership Summit?
I think I heard mention of it, and I said that I have to do a little more research to see what this is about, because it kind of came across my radar a little bit, and I went like, gotta research this. So it is on my to-do research list.
Well, GLS it happens every year in August. So it just happened for this year. But that's the one conference I can tell you that is like that, what you're saying, which is it's global. So the whole world is participating. And it's simulcast, so wherever you can go and watch it live. If you can get a ticket, you can go live, but everywhere else around the world, it's simulcast. And I see you there. So there you go. That's what I saw. So let's make some friends on GLS.
I know, right? Hello. Now I'm going to go research for sure.
Yeah, let's go to GLS. All right, Belkis, you're just such a joy to talk to. And so I actually wanted to take a moment and unpack for you your website, because I really enjoyed looking at your website. And so if you haven't had a chance, everyone, maybe you've already been Googling, who is this Belkis Clarke? So there's the website. It's www.belkisclarke with an E at the end.com. And when you go to this website, of course, you see this ray of sunshine looking at you. Beautiful woman. And one thing I want to point your direction to is the section that talks about courses. And this is the part where I was like, wow, you can get Belkis today if you want Belkis to help support you, right? So, and I know there's there you go, a pop-up that says, let's talk. So already she wants to talk. So let's see, if we want to schedule a meeting with you, what do we do? So there's many times you can schedule an appointment. You can pay, yes, please pay. You can call or whatever you want to do. But I think what I wanted to just talk through, because I don't think we've discussed how we're going to go through the website, but I really like these topics you have. So you have some courses. So talk me through this one, like setting boundaries is one of your courses. Self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-care. I really think that's an amazing one. So I might need to take that one. And then healing from emotional trauma, breakups, and betrayal. So
Yeah.
tell me more about these courses that you've developed.
Well, I developed the course as just as written content that people can go through at their own pace until someone kind of highlighted and said, you know what, if you have this on audio as well, this would be great. So I've been adding the audio to it, and there are more courses to come. But I thought about where it is that I wanted to start, and I realized that that setting boundaries thing is a lot of the times we don't know how to say no to the things we want, or yes, because there are boundaries in yes as well. So we don't know where is this is the limit when it comes to others and stuff like that. So, and a lot of the time it's so subtle because things like duty and responsibility to family, we think it's just like a free for all, and that's not true. That's how we end up hurt. So it talks about whether in friendship, in your on your job, in your intimate relationships, how to establish those boundaries that allows you to live empowered, to be happy still with yourself, to not feel used or tired and trampled on, or just so emotionally empty that you keep scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and give, when all you're giving really at that point is the dregs of your life. It shows how to set boundaries so that you're always showing up great, not just for yourself, but for those in your life. And when it comes to self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-care, people think that with self-care, it's all take a day off and go to the spa. But actually, with every decision you make determines the self-care. It's about, oh my goodness, did I just do the wrong thing? Did I go against what I really wanted? So it brings different aspects, different dimensions to self-care. And self-confidence is foundational, I believe, to any life, to knowing who you are, to your dreams, your goals, and where you want to go. And then the heartbreak, trauma, betrayal, we've all been there. I said, we all been, we got a friend who betrayed us or somebody who betrayed us. We've been hurt emotionally. So what this does is walk you through several topics around the area of one, how to face it, deal with it, move past it, and step into a happier space where it's not always dogging your step, trailing behind you, or impacting the quality of your life. And like I said, there are so much more to come. You won't believe it. That I'm getting them up there. I've just been in a highly creative mode, and I wanted to create first, get my graphics and everything together first before I put them up for folks, so everything would be nice and complete. And it's do at your own pace, and there's always the option to join my group where people can ask questions, get support, and stuff like that.
I love it. So that was just a sneak peek of what's behind the scenes. When you go to www.belkisclarke.com, you will get access to resources where you can connect with Belkis, not only through the coaching, but most importantly, we want you to know that that Belkis has courses that you can actually start taking right now if you wanted to. And so with that, Belkis, I just want to thank you so much for spending time with me. I know you could have been anywhere, and I know you have family responsibilities, so I thank you so much. And I wish that that you continue on this journey that you're on, and I wish all the prosperity and success in the world for you. I will be seeing opportunities for you to be on that stage and putting them in your path, because I see it. I totally see it, and I want it. I just want to be in a space where you're talking. That's all I want. Like, I just want Belkis in my life. So I just feel like you coming on the show is really the truth of what a hero is. And so thank you for coming to show us really truly what empowerment looks like.
It has certainly been a pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I just totally love being here. You're doing a great thing. You keep it up. Just keep it up. You're doing an amazing thing, and you will never know the ripple effect for a very long time, maybe.
Right? You never know what's going on here. I might have my movie. Marvel may come, and we make movies of all these heroes.
I know, right? I will look back at this and said, you remember when we said we would do this?
Oh my gosh, and we're over here winning awards because you were it, and you even acted it, right? So you are like the character too. Anyway. Oh, all I can say is it's just been a true pleasure, and I'm actually going to play us out with an amazing song, and then I'll definitely see you another time because I know we're going to bring you back. You are the true definition of what we do here at Power Up Hero. And I know people are going to ask for Belkis Clarke to come back and share more wisdom with us. So thank you, and you make it a great day. Bye. And so there you have it. Super, super excited to have Belkis here with us. So if you want to find out more about the Power Up Hero that we just interviewed, go to our podcast page. It's www.poweruphero.org. If you know a role model in our community who deserves to be featured, definitely visit our website, www.poweruphero.org, and you can nominate them to be on this show so we can talk about them and unpack how remarkable they are. We want to hear all about the positive attitudes that are out there, and we want to hear about everybody who is really truly making a commitment not only to themselves, but for their family, for their friends, and also for the community that they serve. Again, that website is www.poweruphero.org. Now, be sure to subscribe to the Power Up Hero Show wherever you're watching. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Amazon Alexa, anywhere and everywhere. And first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to the company Verbal. They just tagged us as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Ambassadors. We thank you so much for that recognition. And we just got spotlighted as a featured podcast for our Wake Up to Power Up segment. People are waking up to Power Up. Super excited about that. And so I hope that you were educated. I hope you were inspired. And I hope you were encouraged to be a Power Up Hero for the community that you serve, for the teams that you serve with, for your family and friends, for your career, and for yourself. Because our world needs heroes today more than ever before. And I'm going to play us out with a song just for Belkis Clarke and her legacy. We will see you next time. Bye.
Our magic is in our love and tears, our fears and our flyness.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the foolish. Gone, dust your shoulders off. Keep it moving, yeah, slow. Step into some new kicks. In there, swimwear, going to the pool quick. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify.
Change the world. We've already started.
You must never be defeated, ever.
I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you
I am black and proud.
The future belongs to all of us. Baby, how you feeling?